Kingfishers, it is time for the big reveal. What is in the mystery black box? I have loved some of your suggestions. A police car, a big pencil. I have a feeling that when I open it, you may not actually know what it is. The thing that is in the box is about 80 years old and it belonged to my dad, and I can remember him using it. So, Kingfishers, let's open the mystery black box. It's not a magic box. I've laid it flat. I'm going to open the clasp, and it's got a button, and I'm going to push that towards the clasp and lift. Da, 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 da. What do you think it is? So what can you see on our mystery object? If we look at the bottom here, we have a long, thin bar. And then there are lots of circular buttons. And they've got things on them. This button has got a word written on it. I can see it starts with our digraph, an S and an H. They make the sh sound. Shift, shift, shift. And this button says another word. Lock, lock. And then lots of these buttons have got letters on. This letter's got a Q. And this has got a W. And an E. And an R. And they're all capital letters. And these buttons at the top, they've got numbers on. Here's our number 2. And then we've got our number 3. And this is a 4. It's not like our 4s where we go down and across and down some more. That's a different way to write number 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and a 0. So if we move from the front of the object to the back, you will see that there are lots of sticks. And if you look closely, the sticks have got letters on at the top and at the bottom. And moving back a bit more, you can see some ribbon. And the ribbon is 2 colours. Half of it is black and half of it is red. And the ribbon has got ink in. And if we move to the back here, this is called the carriage. And it doesn't move at the moment. But if I look round the side, there's a little lever. And if I push it, and then if I push this lever down, this moves the carriage. And the carriage has also got a roller that you can turn at the end. Now I wonder if you know what this object is. So it is a typewriter. It's what people used to use before computers when they wanted to write a letter or make a book. It's like a mechanical stamper. So I'm going to put some paper in my typewriter. I'm going to put it in the carriage. And turn the roll around. There we go. And the typewriter is just like a stamper. So here I have a stamper for the letter N, the a capital letter. And it's got the ink in, and to make it work and to make your N on the paper, you just stamp it down. And that is what a typewriter does. So if you find the letter N on your keyboard, and if you push it down, you'll see the stick comes up. And when I push it down, the stick goes up and it stamps the paper. I'll show you. And if you look, if I roll the paper up, you can see a little N. I'm going to type you a message on the typewriter. Listen to the sound it makes as I type. Can you read what I have typed? Now, I know a story that has a typewriter in it. The title of the book is Click Clack Moo, Cows That Type. And you can see the title here on the front cover at the top. Click Clack Moo, Cows That Type. Underneath there is some smaller writing and it says by Doreen Cronin, and she is the lady that wrote the story. Can you remember what the person who writes the story is called? They are called the author. And then next to that it says pictures by Betsy Lewin, and she's the lady who drew the pictures in the story. Can you remember what the person who draws the pictures in a story is called? They are called the illustrator. And there they are, look, drawing their picture. Click clack is the sound that a typewriter makes when you type. Have a listen. Click clack, click clack, click clack. And in the story there's a repeating refrain and it goes click clack moo, click clack moo, clickety clack moo. Now when you hear this in the story, I'll hold this up and can you join in and say click clack moo, click clack moo, clickety clack moo. Click clack moo, cows that type. And here they are, look, the cows with their typewriter. Farmer Brown has a problem. His cows like to type. All day long he hears click clack moo, click clack moo, clickety clack moo. At first he couldn't believe his ears. Cows that type? Impossible. Click clack moo, click clack moo, clickety clack moo. Then he couldn't believe his eyes. There was a note on the door and it read, Dear Farmer Brown, the barn is very cold at night. We'd like some electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. It was bad enough that the cows had found the old typewriter in the barn, but now they wanted electric blankets. No way, said Farmer Brown. No electric blankets. So the cows went on strike. That means that they didn't do their job. They left a note on the barn door. Sorry, we're closed. No milk today. And look at the shadow of Farmer Brown. He looks like he's hopping mad. He looks like he's jumping up and down and he's got his fists in the air. I think he's very cross. No milk today, cried Farmer Brown. In the background, he heard the cows busy at work. Click clack, moo, click clack, moo, clickety clack, moo. The next day, he got another note. Dear Farmer Brown, the hens are cold too. They'd like electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. The cows were growing impatient with the farmer. They left a new note on the barn door. Closed. No milk, no eggs. No eggs? cried Farmer Brown. In the background, he heard them. Click clack moo, click clack moo, clickety clack moo. Cows that type, hens on strike. Who ever heard of such a thing? How can I run a farm with no milk and no eggs? Farmer Brown was furious. That doesn't mean he was a little bit cross. It means he was really, really cross. Furious. Farmer Brown got out his own typewriter. Dear cows and hens, there will be no electric blankets. You are cows and hens. I demand milk and eggs. Sincerely, Farmer Brown. Duck was a neutral party, so he brought the ultimatum to the cows. The cows held an emergency meeting. All the animals gathered around the barn to snoop, but none of them could understand moo. All night long, Farmer Brown waited for an answer. Duck knocked on the door early next morning. He handed Father Brown a note. Dear Farmer Brown, we will exchange our typewriter for electric blankets. Leave them outside the barn door and we will send Duck over with the typewriter. Sincerely, the cows. Farmer Brown decided this was a good deal. He left the blankets next to the barn door and waited for Duck to come with the typewriter. And look, can you see them all with their electric blankets that are keeping them nice and warm in their cold barn? The next morning he got a note. Dear Farmer Brown, the pond is quite boring. We'd like a diving board. Sincerely, the ducks. Click, clack, quack. Click, clack, quack. Clickety clack, quack. I hope you liked listening to this story, Kingfishers. It was one of my children's favourites when they were younger.